It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 205 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton. But most importantly,
we hug chickens every day.
And we kiss them too. Don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee roaster in Houston, Texas. Bright and early coffee. Holly, and what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
Breakfast blend.
In the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's in the afternoon. So
that's so weird. Why do you say that?
I love to say it.
It's so weird.
So if you're not drinking Bright and Early's breakfast blend, you're missing out because it's such a delicious coffee. Now, we have a code CWTCL 15 for 15% off bagged coffee, but where should everybody go?
brightandearlycoffee.com.
And if you enjoy K-Cups, get them on Amazon and follow them on their social media. Are you ready to sip some of this delicious breakfast blend in the afternoon?
Yes, I am. But first, a word from our sponsor.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today. Yes, it's in the afternoon. How are you doing?
Why do you say that?
I love it. I love it, man.
I will drink breakfast blend at midnight.
You will drink coffee at midnight, and then if we're traveling, sleep. I would look over and you'd just be sitting straight up in the bed.
Let's be fair. None of those recent trips did I have coffee at midnight.
Maybe you did.
I barely had coffee in the morning, or you could call it coffee.
When we went to Iowa, you set the fire alarm off.
Oh, girl, that was not me.
We know who that was.
First of all, those things that were burning have gluten and dairy in them, so you know they weren't me. I just snuck in there and put a bagel in the toaster. What a practical joke that would be.
That would be so funny. So yeah, it's been a beautiful weather week because you know I love weather. I love it when it's like this. Mm-hmm. It could be a little cooler though.
It could be a lot cooler. It's 80 degrees.
I know. Everybody's like, this is great. I'm like, we're 66.
This is not great. This is too warm. I have got 10 woolly sheep who are not happy.
We're both menopausal, can you tell?
I'm over here in my caftan era. I'm easy breezy over here. Woo!
Are you a cover girl? Easy breezy, beautiful cover
If
girl.
you can be a cover girl at 51, sure, I'm a cover girl. Yes, indeed. So, chickens.
Let's talk about chicken.
Chickens or ducks.
Or any poultry whatsoever.
Any poultry. I still have that itch for the quail.
The molt is still going on over here.
Oh.
I'm pulling my hair out along with the feathers coming out of the chickens.
I'd never seen this many feathers before. I mean, it's feathers everywhere. Everywhere.
So bad. Spicy has been molting since like July, and now her wings are molting.
That is a long, slow molt.
Yes. And I feel so bad for them. Poor Francesca, her feet. Now, remember, Francesca is one of my coaching.
Yeah.
Her feet have pin feathers all over the legs and the feet.
Yep. It's terrible.
And she's barely moving right now. I'm so worried about her.
She'll be okay in a day or two, but the foot feathers coming in are pretty brutal.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah.
So that's where we are over here on the homestead. How are you on yours?
You know, I planted some potatoes in my potato pots. Want to try to get another crop in before it gets really cold. Every morning, I've gotten up, poured myself a cup of coffee, fed the dogs, looked out the kitchen window.
Squirrel.
And there are stinking squirrels in my potato pots.
Squirrels are everywhere, man. They're everywhere.
Like, if they were just maybe, burying things in there, I wouldn't care. But they're digging up my seed potatoes.
You could make us some fresh French fries with your potatoes for while we record.
Not with the ones that's... Okay, the squirrels dig them up, eat half of them, and let them languish there.
Oh, no, not that. You got to get them before the squirrels.
Yeah, well, we've gone through our supply of the summer potatoes
We know how
already.
squirrels like potatoes and tomatoes, Alyssa.
Buggers.
If you're listening. That fresh, ripened tomato that you were waiting for weeks, and Alyssa went home.
Other than that,
ate it.
getting ready for the holidays.
It's beginning to look a lot like the holidays.
Well, we'll be home for Christmas. That's a song too.
Yes.
But we'll be going to my in-laws for Thanksgiving.
Oh, I thought you were talking about us.
What do you mean us?
That we'll be home for Christmas. I don't know if we're doing a holiday trip this year. A Chicken Lady holiday trip.
If we do, it'll be like
a day trip.
Yeah, a day trip. It's
we're doing it. I thought you were talking about us doing a day trip for the podcast.
I wasn't, but we can.
We're on today.
Yeah, we got this.
We got this. Okay, so on that note, if you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a written review. It does amazing things for the growth of our show. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button because they count them and they help us grow.
If you're looking for other ways to help support the show, you can tell a few chicken-loving friends about us. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. You can check out our Etsy shop. You can become a patron of the show, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. And the other thing you can do to help support us is visit our website and our show notes, use our affiliate links and discount codes, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay!
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera US.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you like monthly subscriptions?
Does it have anything to do with chickens?
Of course.
Then yeah. Let us take a minute to tell you about Chicken Love.
You get a monthly Chicken Lady tea, treats for your flock, and a keeper care card.
And did you know with every multi-month subscription, you get a free Chicken Love logo t-shirt?
Really?
Yeah.
It's $36 a month with free shipping.
What are you waiting for? Get off the nest and click already. That's chickenlove.com. That's chickenluv.com. Get your subscription today.
The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards.
Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today. I'm the only one that's got my khakis on. I'm the only one that's got my khakis on. I'm the only one in town. I've got my khakis on. It's time for the Breed Spotlight, yeah.
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 I know I got it. It took me a minute. I got it, but
Did you get it?
I did. I got it.
Do you remember that? You know which song I'm doing?
No.
Okay, so on the Fallon show, Will Ferrell and Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, I do know it. Okay,
with
I got
J-Lo.
it. Yes.
I'm the only one with my tight pants on.
Yes.
That's what I was doing. For the Breed Spotlight.
For the Breed Spotlight, which is the Khaki Campbell Duck. I was like, I'm over here wearing a caftan. You don't have khakis on either. What are you doing?
I'm the only one with my khakis on.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So it's the Khaki Campbell this week.
Yep, the Khaki Campbell Duck. This is another one that has a good story.
It does.
The very popular Khaki Campbell Duck is a heritage breed that originated in the UK in the 1890s.
1890s.
We took a little trip. The khakis are probably the best laying of the heritage breed ducks, and they are extremely popular with homesteaders and smallholders.
Yeah, definitely.
They're also one of the few heritage breeds, I think the only heritage breed duck, but one of the few heritage breeds developed by a woman.
Yay.
Yay. Campbells are currently in the watch category of the Livestock Conservancy's Conservation Priority List. They were accepted into the American Poultry Association Standard of Perfection in 1941 in the light duck class. The Khaki Campbell Duck was created by Mrs. Arthur Campbell, and there's actually some confusion about her first name. The press at the time called her Adele, but legal records, like her marriage records, list her as Ada.
Okay.
No one is sure what first name she used, so you'll see her referred to both ways and with lots of different spellings.
Okay.
She and her husband, Dr. Arthur Campbell, were both from Northern Ireland originally. They moved to the UK and they first settled in Lincolnshire, which is where Fiona lives.
I was going to say, do they know Fiona?
Well, a couple hundred years. 100 years so yeah. Then they moved to Gloucestershire, where the doctor worked out of a surgery set up in their home, and he was eventually appointed as a medical officer. They had one child,
Okay.
a son born in 1881, and Ada started keeping poultry around 1887.
Okay.
When Mrs. Campbell first started breeding ducks, her aim was primarily to increase eggs.
Now, did she also come up with a soup?
Duck soup?
No, Campbell's.
Pretty sure no. Or might have had duck in it if she did. Campbell's duck soup. We know that she was after eggs primarily because she said so. Among others, there were articles written about her in 1912 and 1925.
Is that so?
Yeah. Where she specifically spoke about how and why she started breeding ducks. She does make a comment. Sometimes you'll hear people say it was because her husband and son wanted roast duck. Well, she did say that once, but she said over and over that the eggs are what she was after. She started out very simply. She crossed a fawn and white runner duck, female, with a Rouen drake.
Okay.
She explained that the runner was a good layer. I think she had kept track of her eggs and she laid something like 195 eggs in 197 days.
Right.
But she also said that the runner was not like good conformation or anything. So she took her, crossed her with a Rouen drake, figured she would pass along the good laying genes, while the drake would add size, so the offspring would be good table bird. She continued with this cross, but she does note that for one mating season, she also used a mallard drake.
It's much smaller.
Yeah, got some mallard in there. Well, remember, this is a light duck.
Yeah.
So she ended up creating two different ducks. Her first variety was simply known as Campbell, and that had mostly diluted mallard coloring.
Okay.
These ducks didn't really catch on with the public, but they were fairly prolific layers. In 1898, Mrs. Campbell posted a newspaper ad selling duck eggs at 4 shillings per dozen.
Wow.
Yep, so she was making some money off of her ducks. She continued with her duck breeding project, and some sources say she added pencil runners, leading to the brown ducks that eventually became called khakis. Right.
Yeah.
Now, these ducks were more popular with the public, and they even became rather famous in the early 1900s. By that point, Dr. and Mrs. Campbell had both become enthusiastic breeders and showers of Brahmas and Silkies, plus she did show her khakis as well, though she always insisted that laying should be the primary purpose of a Khaki Campbell duck.
Yeah, because why else would he wear those khaki pants?
Oh my
or
God.
she would.
The Khaki Campbells were first imported into the U.S. in 1929 in an importation to New York.
They were like, yes, I'm in New York, baby. I'm here.
It's Saturday night.
It's Saturday night.
For the next 50 years, they were around, but they were never super popular here. Now, according to Dave Holderreed, another importation of them in 1977 was very enthusiastically met, probably for two reasons.
Because it's the 70s.
Well, the first is that they were a production line.
Right.
You know, they were a British production line that laid high numbers of eggs. The second, like you said, the 70s, there was a combination of hippie homesteaders, also a large number of Asian immigrants, and they wanted ducks that laid a lot of eggs, and the Khaki Campbells fit the bill.
Shortly after that were the 80s, and nobody wanted anything except for convenience at that point in time.
I mean, a lot of Asian cookery does use duck eggs.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what happened to the hippie homesteaders. Maybe when the 80s hits, they all went to Wall Street.
Everybody used a crimper on their hair and did a side pony and wore neon colored stuff and went on with it.
I didn't have a crimper. My mom wouldn't buy one, so I used to put my hair in a ton of tiny braids every night.
I had a crimper, but I never got it to work right.
Okay. I think your hair might be too thick for
All I
it.
have to say is Tony Perm, we mastered.
If it burns, it's working, babe.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Thanks, Miss Jackie.
Okay, Khaki Campbells are pretty. They're unique looking ducks in shades of brown. That's why they're called khaki.
Khakis. Mm-hmm.
So the drakes are light brown with mallard markings and the dark bronze brown head and neck.
Yeah, they're really pretty there.
They are. And the hens are a soft khaki brown with a beautiful seal brown head and neck. Do you think they wear cargos?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
They both have dark green bills with a black bean. They have dark brown eyes, orange feet and legs for drakes, and light brown feet and legs for females. The standard calls for drakes to weigh in between 4 and 4.5 pounds, and the duck hens to weigh 3.5 to 4 pounds. Not much difference between.
No, not really.
While there are dark and white Campbells, the khaki is the only color currently APA accepted.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into laying because that's what everybody really wants to know.
Yep.
The Khaki Campbell hens, they're excellent layers. Okay, so they're going to lay white, large eggs. They will give you 250 to 300 eggs each year.
300 plus.
That's a good layer. That comes in my really good layer category.
I saw as high as 340 a year.
Yeah, so you may get an occasional broody Campbell, but the majority of them will not sit on eggs for you. So
Right.
Don't look for them to do that. You'll want to get an incubator or a broody hen.
Yeah.
But they're excellent on the homestead.
They are, and they make good family birds. Now, Dave Holderried has said that of all the ducks, these are the ducks that require least water, but that does not mean you should not have water for them.
Right. They need it to bathe. You know,
At the very least, they need a bucket that they can dunk their entire head into.
isn't that what we all want?
A bucket to put our head into? Some days, yeah. Well, I don't know. If you came over, you could dunk your head in Mirabelle's bucket. I'm sure she'd share with a couple honks.
Honk, 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 honk. Coming in. I need to wash my hair. Move out of the way.
The Campbells are also very active ducks, so they do need space to forage and they need to be able to root for bugs. It's really important for them.
They do well in both the heat and the cold and are great garden helpers.
They're also really great for showing if you are so inclined.
Now, if you go in there and you show them, it's loud. The ducks are loud.
Oh, you're talking about the Nationals. Oh my, what was it called, ducks? Holy moly.
Woo! Okay, so they're going to lay you, as Holly Ann says here, heaps of eggs. Okay?
It's a good description. But you want to try to get good quality ducks because just like chickens, the production strains can end up with cancer and other reproductive diseases.
And that can be something that you might not know about, but with Dr. Rebecca in our pocket here, she tells us a lot that ducks do get reproductive problems.
Yeah. So
know that is a
healthy ones.
possibility.
Yeah. They are beautiful birds, but they're not super cuddly, though they can be friendly if you handle them from the time they're ducklings.
You get out what you put in, which we always say. They like to be out and moving around a lot.
They don't do well in cages. In fact, I found some references to layer cage fatigue, which we saw that in the case of the brown leghorns.
Yeah.
They can't be caged. It can eventually kill them.
Right. Exactly. Now they have pretty good camouflage.
As we've said so many times, ducks are a fantastic addition to a permaculture or regenerative ag system. They provide lots of fertilizer and they can help you rebuild healthy soil.
And they, like I said before, they have great camouflage. So pretty good, but we do recommend supervised free ranging.
Because everyone wants to enjoy a duck dinner.
Just like chicken.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, here's the all-important drum roll, please. Question of the day. Where can you get the Khaki Campbell?
You can get your Khaki Campbells at McMurray Hatchery, at Metzer Farm. And if you're into showing, you probably want to join the APA and connect with some of the breeders that way.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so if you have the Khaki Campbell and you'd like a share on our Instagram page, give us a story, hit the mention button, and type in Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, and then we will receive your story and reshare it for you.
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit MetzerFarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection. Roosty's proudly sponsors Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. They're back with an innovative new product. You're gonna want to check this out.
It's an extra large set, a 14-pound feeder and 3-gallon water with steep anti-roost lids. They're made of super durable material. You can either stand them on legs or hang them on brackets on your coop or fence. They're easy to remove and clean too. Plus, they look awesome.
We personally use Roosties and we're huge fans. So if you're raising chicks or keeping chickens, check out the Roosty store on Amazon or follow the link in our show notes. You ready to move on to main topic? Yeah.
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 Today, we are so happy to have with us Bryce and Amy Van Leuven of the Good Egg Company. You know we absolutely love them and their products. If you aren't familiar with the Good Egg, go back to episode 175 where we had Amy on the show. It really is an interview you don't want to miss. Bryce and Amy, welcome back.
Hey,
Hi.
what's up? So
Welcome
stoked to be
table.
here.
Welcome to the table. We're so happy to have you. Now we have Amy, and this time we have Bryce too. We're so happy to have you guys.
Added bonus.
Well, it's always nice to be around the table with you guys.
You're around with like 3 beautiful women here, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded. Hot chicks everywhere, you know?
That Aphrodite charm talking. I
It
think.
is the charm talking, man.
So we wanted to have you guys visit us today for a couple of reasons. The first is that we want to get into the science behind your product. Everyone knows we love the science. We are passionate about food safety.
And let's mention the product right now because it's an amazing egg washing brush, first of its kind out there, and the enzyme wash, which is amazing. So we want you guys to explain the product first and kind of explain what took you to develop this.
Chickens and ducks we started raising, and we realized how sometimes you can get eggs that look, you know, really gross, covered in poop and just not very appetizing at all. So we started washing them with things that people have been using for years and years, like sponges, dish brushes, paper towels. I've heard it all. I've even heard like people use toothbrushes and all the different things. So yes, yeah, I don't want to mix that toothbrush up.
No.
So anyways,
No.
Yeah, we got just fed up with those methods that were not effective. They actually held on to more bacteria, and we would get them confused. Which one's the dish brush and which one is the egg brush? And it was annoying. So
It's
we
like
decided
salmonella for everybody.
yeah, just spread it around, which is essentially what you're doing when you wash eggs with those sorts of things, with
Yeah.
sponges. It's just really spreading the bacteria.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest thing for us was like we couldn't believe that a simple tool like the one that we created didn't exist. Like we were like, how does this not exist? It seems like such a no-brainer thing, but the only thing we could think of was it's just been like not inconvenient enough to where somebody has done something about it. But it's like, especially when you have ducks, like ducks just typically lay in muddier environments. You know, their feet they hold on to mud and dirt a lot easier. And so just generally their eggs are just dirtier, especially in the wetter seasons. And so, yeah, we decided to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody once described ducks to me as mud goblins, and I thought that was perfect.
Oh yeah.
Are.
If
they
there's
are.
no mud, they'll make it, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to say. I'm like, every season's muddy season for ducks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but it's easier for them when there's mud everywhere.
Yes.
But one of the most frustrating things actually is like you get their water all cleaned out after they've used it as a bird bath every minute of the day. You get it all cleaned out, and just seconds later, they're all just like, it's like a joke for them. It's like, all right, see how much mud we can spoon into this water. And but I mean, it does make sense, you know, the cleaning out their nostrils and all that stuff. Like that's how they flush it. Anyways, we're talking about cleaning eggs here, not how.
That's right.
So
Well,
here's the thing with silicone, there's different grades of silicone. So there are food grades of silicone, there's different things. So the silicone that you use on the egg brush is the highest top quality that you can use. It's safe to use on your food products, and the enzyme wash is not a soap. That's what we want to get out there, because a lot of people are like, we use Dawn soap. That's a soap. That's an astringent. You don't want that. Eggs are porous. They have 10,000 little pores. So whatever you put on the outside of the egg goes through to the egg. And we need to remember this and all of that. So the enzyme wash is 100% natural. Tell us about the wash.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to answer your first question, yeah, we make the brushes out of the highest quality silicone that we can, and to the highest degree of tolerance for it to be effective for what it needs to be. And I guess all that means is a product like ours that has, I mean, we've got over 650 little tiny scrubbing nubs on the inside of this, you know, concave, flexible thing that's we've gone through so many prototypes to get it to the perfect rigidity to where it's strong enough to clean exceptionally well, but it's not so firm that it's going to break the shell or anything like that. Like, we've put our heart and souls into designing this, and we wanted to make sure that it was absolutely up to the highest quality standard that it possibly could be. And what that means for manufacturing is it's hard. Like, the heat tolerances that we have to do, we have like a very thorough quality control process that is to say, there's a lot of them that don't come out perfect, and we are like, that's not good enough. Like, we need this product to work well for the people that need it like we did. So the second part of your question was the enzyme wash. Yeah, it's not a soap whatsoever. It is 100% all natural organic enzymes. So it's an enzyme base that is using nature to help kind of clean off and sanitize the things that live on the bloom. But when you get into scrubbing it, you do not want anything going through those pores. And so soap is the last thing that you want to put on your egg. You want to put a natural product on there that does cleaning and it doesn't penetrate the shell. And our enzymes don't penetrate the shell, but it does sanitize potentially harmful bacteria and other things.
What the plant, so there's plant-based enzymes, and what they do is they attack the bacteria in the biomaterial or poop on the outside of the bloom, right? So there's all this bacteria sitting on the outside, and the enzymes stay nice on the outside of the bloom, but it breaks down all of the contaminants that are on the outside of it, just making it easier to scrub and then rinse off.
Yeah, and sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say, even if an egg looks clean, I mean, we should back up a minute and say that, we know everyone stores their eggs on their countertop. We all do this. We know the bloom is on there to protect it. This is really to wash your eggs before you use them. Though I will say, in certain cases, like in the cases of it's been muddy and hens have walked all over eggs and they're nasty, I will wash them immediately and put them in the fridge.
And you have to do that.
But that's another whole matter.
If you take the bloom off, they have to be refrigerated.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you do any research, have any science back there to tell you this is what you were trying to avoid, like bacteria-wise?
At first, we just wanted a brush to help make our lives easier. And I guess backing up a little bit, like, we are normal people. We're a small.
Hi, we're normal.
we are a small family business. We are backyard chicken and duck raisers that had a problem, and we were like, it's crazy. It hasn't been solved yet. We want to help contribute to this world that we're a part of and make a product that solves our issue. We made this thing to solve our problem, and we thought it's got to solve other people's problems too. That being said, when we got into making what was the tool that cleaned it off, we thought, all right, if we're going to start a company and make a product that is cleaning eggs, it's like, what else is there? Like, what is the science behind, because at first it's just, hey, this is visibly dirty. Let's wash this off. But then it's like, okay, well, we know about salmonella and E. coli, and we know about, a lot of that stuff. How relevant is it in eggs that don't visibly look super dirty? And we wanted to really make sure that if we were going to make a product that is all about cleaning eggs, that we knew a lot of the science and what, a lot of this is founded on.
Right. Yeah. What we like to say now is we've been to the dark side of the egg, and now we can't go back. We've seen too much. So,
Luke, I am your father.
Yes.
Did you just say, Goop, I am your father?
That's what she said, and she said it with an Italian accent. So
This is a new character. This is a new character.
Oh, it's a character with the dark side. It was the dark side of the egg.
To the dark side of the egg. Okay.
Duck Vader.
Duck Vader. Yeah, I like it.
Dark egger.
That works too, but I like Duck Vader, and I want that on a t-shirt. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to get a drink now.
You can talk now without us talking over top of you.
I love it. This is really the quality of the conversation right here. But anyways, wait, where was I? What were we saying?
You were going into the dark side of the egg. That's what started the whole thing.
There we go. So, right, it makes sense to clean the visibly dirty eggs. It makes sense. But then when you see a clean one, we started to wonder, I wonder if this actually is clean. And we went into the research, went down many rabbit holes. We discussed this with poultry microbiologists and
well, I think that really quick.
Yeah. Okay.
And I hate to interject all the time.
He's passionate.
I get passionate about egg talk.
Love passion.
I just a really quick interjection here is when we started going down and doing research, you are going to find every single person has their opinion that is fact and law. And it's like, you never wash them. You always wash them. This isn't harmful. This is harmful. It's like there's 100 different things. And that's what led us down to, okay, what does like actual, real, modern science have to say about this? And that's what led us to talking to some of the, world leading poultry microbiologists to really get to the source of what the truth is. And I'd say the majority of what people say is mostly founded in truth. But there is the other side of it that you need to know is a very real thing that modern science, just recently in the last, 50, 60 years can show us these are real things and real concerns.
Yeah. And I think what it boils down to is people are very passionate, have a very strong opinion when it comes to removing the bloom. That is the biggest thing. And we realized we didn't know how controversial it was until we got into this. And we're like, there are some feelings around the bloom, right? So we just want to be very clear in saying we love the bloom. We love it. It's great. It's just nature's miracle.
It honestly is. It is.
We love it and we support it. We're here for the bloom. I think that a lot of people think when we say to wash your eggs, they're thinking you go get your eggs, you immediately wash them, then you put them on your counter, which is obviously not the right way to do it, right?
Correct.
So we believe you can collect your eggs, keep the bloom on there, keep them on the counter. That's great. But we also say if you're someone who likes to keep them in the fridge, okay, sure.
Exactly.
Wash your eggs, put them in the fridge, and they'll last a long time. So it doesn't really matter for us, like how you store your eggs. Either way is fine. You just need to be aware of what's on the outside of your eggs and that you properly clean them before you use them to prevent things like cross-contamination, which is a very real thing, and it kind of gets overlooked a lot of the time. But we live in an information age now, and we're just learning so much more, so much quicker than we used to, right? So we're finding out that there's a lot of harmful bacteria potentially on the outside of eggs. And the truth is, you just don't know which ones have it and which ones don't. You can't see it. So some of the cleanest looking eggs could have some of the most harmful bacteria. Not to say that all eggs do, but it's possible. Right. So,
and it's easier to look at the really dirty ones that are just really visibly dirty and say, okay, yeah, you're literally, if you don't wash that, you're handling and potentially getting that in your food. So that's a no-brainer. And I think that for the product that we made, it is so easy to wash a clean, quote unquote looking egg, that it's like for us. And once you kind of know about that research, and what actually lives on there. And I think the biggest thing is like the bloom is there to protect the inside of the egg from what is literally on top of the bloom.
Exactly.
It's like, I talk about it like, we've tried for so long I'm like a very visual and like metaphorical person. And so I think of it like a latex glove. It's like you have a latex glove on your hand and that has some potentially harmful stuff on it. Wouldn't you want to take the glove off before you use your hand? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's kind of what the bloom is. And I know you mentioned, hey, storing it in the fridge for people that want to do that. Absolutely. But it's like you were saying earlier, Holly, I think you were saying that if you're storing it in the fridge or you're breaking down the bloom, like you need to make sure that is a sanitized egg at this point.
Yes. Right.
And you want to make sure that there's no potentially harmful things on that egg if you're going to remove the bloom, because that could then work its way through the pores and get inside the egg. So if you are storing them in the fridge, that's where like in a sanitization wash, that's an all natural wash that doesn't penetrate the shell, take all that stuff off and then put it in the fridge. And we've actually learned that if your goal is, hey, long-term storage or keeping it fresh, you can keep your eggs fresh on the counter for weeks.
Right.
The bloom does that for weeks, but it does eventually deteriorate. But we've learned that if you collect your eggs, wash them, put them in the fridge, they will last up to 10 times longer.
I wanted to make a point because we are probably one of the only countries in the world, excuse me, we are probably one of the only countries in the world that goes against the storage of the egg on the counter. If you go worldwide, many people, even if you go into grocery stores, I've been in grocery stores around the world, Costa Rica, different places, eggs are stored and sold off the shelf, not in the refrigerated section.
Yeah.
So
Right.
this is a thing that everyone kind of has to understand, that we have to go away from it, because when you buy eggs in the store, they go through a big time process to get to the point where their natural bloom is taken off, replaced with other things, different things to keep them good for a longer amount of time in the fridge. So just storing them on the counter and keeping the bloom and washing them as you go is perfect until, they'll stay longer in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
think,
want to go back to the point you made. I just want to go back to the point you made because I think we want to reemphasize this. This goes back to we love the bloom. We do love the bloom, but the bloom evolved to protect the developing chick inside the egg. Not to protect us, not to keep those eggs good for us, but to protect the developing baby. So, all the bacteria is on the outside waiting for us.
Yep, that's right.
It's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, so when you go to handle that egg, you are handling the bacteria on the outside of the bloom. And then when you go to touch your cutting board, all that bacteria that's on the outside of your hand now is in contact with your cutting board or your vegetables or whatever it is that you're touching, your face, it's there. And that's the bloom doing its job of keeping it out of the inside of the egg. And people often ask us, like, well, you don't eat the eggshell. And that's not right. We don't, but that's not the point, right? You're handling the egg. Exactly. And then you're handling other things. Right. So that is what it is. And there's so many. I have a whole list of all the bacteria that can be on the outside of eggshell.
Tell us a couple of those, please, Amy, because we know right now we're dealing with a lot of antibiotic resistance. Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious to hear a few of those, please.
For sure. Yeah. So we have obviously the big one, Salmonella, right? Which is often can cause, really life-threatening issues. We have Campylobacter, which is a leading cause of bacterial food poisoning, which can be found in raw chicken and also on eggs. We have E. coli, which is one of the main contributors to food poisoning as well. Clostridium, Listeria, Giardia, Staphylococcus, and the list just goes on. There's a lot, and they get really hard to say the further down the list you go.
Yeah, they do. Exactly. I think that's enough nasties for us to hear that.
So
that's bad.
I want to move the conversation into the next part, which everyone can kind of really understand and appreciate, is we're in a world where we need to reduce, reuse, and recycle. So this product that you've made makes it so much easier than using a million paper towels or sponges or everything else. We use it here in our family to clean every one of our eggs, and we love it. We use the wash, and I put it in the dishwasher every day, and I can re-clean it a million times. And I am not using as much paper and paper towels and products that I would be using. Reuse, reduce, all these things. This is wonderful. It's so amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, that's something that's really important to us because we saw how much paper towels we were going through, and then replacing all those sponges and all those plastic brushes. It's just so much waste. And it's not a lot when you just think about one family, but when it's all, every family that raises chickens going through that amount, it just really adds up. And we love the earth, and we like to take care of it the best we can. So making one product that can replace all of that waste, and it should last a lifetime, right? It's meant to be a one-time purchase to replace all the need to buy future tools to clean your eggs. So yeah, we are pretty excited about that. Yeah, going back. Yeah, we're pretty excited about the sustainability of our product.
The other thing is it's fun. It's fun to use. It's like you can dance while you're cleaning your eggs. It's so much fun. I love it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for using it every day. That's awesome. again, we invented this for us and we use it every single morning. I like to say we do research and development every single morning because we eat eggs as a family. Every morning we get quite a few eggs. Again, we made this for our family. Like this was a use case of us going through a bunch of stuff. And we just thought if we can make a quality product that should last forever, we should stand behind that. And so we have a lifetime guarantee on our products. And that is something that we fully stand behind for the life of our company. If this product should never break on you, it should never deteriorate. It should never, we spent so much time and effort making sure that we had a quality product, and we stand behind that. And so with a lifetime guarantee, if anything ever happens, we are going to replace that for our customer. We only want more people buying like brushes from us if we come out with a new cute color they just can't live without, or they want to give it to their neighbors or anything like that. But it's like we want to be able to make a great impact with an amazing product that works amazingly well. And we are striving to do that. And we feel like we're, obviously we're still a really new company into this world. But like that is the foundation of why we're here. Like we want to be able to contribute and give back, and we can, start with a product that should last forever and reduce a lot of that waste and heartache.
It's a product that we believe in wholeheartedly.
Or else we would not be here.
Right. We absolutely love it. And to that end, we want to do something to try to help your success a little bit as a small business. Please don't purchase counterfeit versions of this brush. We've seen them. Chrissy and I have seen them.
Yeah, there's a ton out there. They're not made with the same quality of silicone. You can instantly tell the difference between them. And, we want to support small business.
Yeah.
We want to support families. With a need comes invention. And that's where we are with this. You needed something, you invented it. It makes the world a better place. You guys make the world a better place. We've known you for the last year or so, and we just love you. And we know that everybody else that meets you and hears this is going to instantly fall in love with you guys and your product and your passion behind the product. So if you see something out there that's not the Good Egg company, don't buy it. Don't buy it.
Thanks, Chrissy.
Yeah.
We love you guys. You're the best. And yeah, it's been hard to have something that we work so hard for that has so much meaning behind it. We're more than just an egg brush. We have a pretty huge story behind why we did all this. And to see just big old companies that just spit out, replicates that are pretty inferior to our product, let's be honest. It's hard. It's hard because they don't need it. And we've put everything into it, we kind of bet the farm on this. So it's frustrating. It's hard. So I hope that people can see. And, it really woke me up. We all do it. We all go to Amazon and we compare prices and we're like, oh, here's this one. You don't know. You just don't know. And I was guilty of that too. But it really does make you think, now being in this position, about what you're buying and where it's coming from. Because honestly, I didn't realize it, like how prevalent all these knockoffs were.
And with the sustainability factor, those knockoffs are not going to last as long as yours. So you're back to putting things in the landfill.
Right. So where I want to come at this is also you have a very, very big heart when it comes to you're a small family on a farm homestead, but yet you are giving 10% of every sale to a cancer family directly to them in their pockets. And anybody who wants to feel good about a purchase that they're making, you can't go wrong with this purchase because you're going to feel like you've made a difference in somebody's life, multiple people's lives by making this purchase. And you're going to have it for a lifetime. There's a lifetime warranty on it. How can you get any better than this?
Very, very passionate about the knockoffs and the ripoffs, especially with like where our heart really is with what we're trying to do. But yeah, like we decided early on that if we were going to have a successful company, like that we wanted to give back. And this is not just like, oh, we're a company and we want a tax rebate and we want to look like we're doing good for the world. Like we donate directly to individuals and families that are affected by cancer because of our own story, because of Amy's situation. And that is truly something that really helped us through a period of time. Cancer at large is terrible. It's pretty bad.
The amount that you're giving is unheard of for a small company to give that amount.
If you wanted to just say, hey, look, we're giving to charity, it would be like $1 of every purchase, not 10% of your profits.
Yeah, but it's also not just like, it's also not just to cancer research or just some generic thing. It's directly to people that need it for things like alternative therapies or just groceries, eating healthier, all those things.
Yeah, that's what we really want to do. And even before we came up with Good Egg, when I can remember early on in our relationship, we always talked about wanting to be able to be in a position to help people, however it happened. And of course, that was before we knew what would happen to me and on my cancer journey. But I'm very grateful because this is giving us that platform to be able to do that. And it just fills my cup up so much to know that we can give directly to these people who need it the most. They're the ones who are going through it. They're the ones who need the support. And it just, it's sweet, all these nice things that you're saying about how generous we're being, but it really does do a lot for us to be able to do that.
It's full circle. It's full circle. Yeah. And when you give, you get back.
I'm just going to say that I have a link straight to the Good Egg in our show notes. And you know what? It just occurred to me. I give out eggs to my sisters and their families. Exactly. I'm going to go buy my sister kits for Christmas gifts.
You know what would also be a good gift for, like when you have a gift game for Christmas?
Oh, that's fun.
Like, it's a fun, different idea to put out there. Somebody opens it up and it's useful for everybody.
Absolutely.
That with a dozen of your eggs, if you're a chicken lady, give that gift to somebody.
That's very clever.
That's really a good way to use it.
Package that nicely.
Now, here's the other thing. This is the fun part also, that we get to announce that the amazing family with Bryce and Amy, we are collaborating with them on multiple levels. So you're going to be hearing a little bit more from Amy on our show once a month. She is going to bring us a healthy duck egg recipe that she's going to develop, and she's going to come to our Cracking the Eggs once a month. Welcome.
Woo. Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be so much fun. I love hanging out with you guys, so it's a good excuse.
Sorry. We're so excited that we get to hang out with you once a month and see that beautiful smile that you have on your face every month. And, that our families get to connect now. I feel all warm and fuzzy. It's great.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. I'm way excited. I also feel warm and fuzzy. Food and coffee with the chicken ladies. Doesn't get much better than that.
Well, we want some recipes. I mean, you can switch eggs around, duck eggs, goose egg, chicken eggs, but we want some recipes that specifically have duck eggs. We just thought it would be a lot of fun. Healthy recipes. Yeah, we look forward to it.
So welcome.
When are we gonna do this for November, you think?
Yeah, let's do it
Amy,
for November.
You think you'll have one for November?
Yeah, I think I'll be ready, and I'm excited. I like to, because of my health journey, I try to make everything as healthy as possible, and I like to find replacements for, ingredients that might not be as healthy for you. And I'm excited to be able to share kind of what I found along the way.
I had an idea. Right. We need Amy to bring us a Thanksgiving duck egg recipe for the Thanksgiving table.
I was already there.
I was there too.
We're all there. We're all there together.
We do have like a staple duck egg recipe that we do every Thanksgiving. So
sounds good.
We're there, baby.
Yeah, perfect.
Something else that I wanted to bring up was a lot of how this came about was we wanted to get backyard birds because it was healthier. We know that backyard fresh eggs are healthier than store-bought. And going through my cancer journey, we just changed our whole lifestyle to try to make everything as local, as healthy. Like we know where it's coming from. We're taking care of these animals and they're providing the healthiest food for us. So that was really big, a big priority for us. And then we got them and we realized that there potentially can be all these harmful bacteria on the eggs. So we needed to responsibly handle them because I was going through chemo and all this stuff. So my immune system was down and I had to be extra careful with everything, with potentially picking up something, right? Because it would make me really, really sick. And there's a lot of folks out there who deal with, who have, there's a lot of people out there who are immunocompromised, who have to be careful like this every day. And so we actually got a really sweet comment from a customer who said they appreciated our products so much because their partner contracts salmonella very easily because of his autoimmune disease. And so she tries to, reduce his risk as much as possible. So she was really grateful. And that warmed my heart because we want to be able to provide safe, natural solutions to help people be healthier and avoid chemicals and toxins and unhealthy bacteria.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I say amazing a lot, but I believe it. It is. It's a good thing to. I have elderly parents who I have to really clean the eggs for, and it does make sense. Even the elderly people will need that a little bit more too.
My mom's in her 80s, and I'll feel a whole lot better when I've given her one of these for Christmas. Honestly.
Miss Jane, you're getting one for Christmas.
Oh. Yeah, my mom
you
listens
just
to the show.
ruined it. Now she's gonna,
Well, you take that out, or she cannot be surprised. I don't know, but she's getting one.
I'll give her one for Thanksgiving. Okay.
Miss Jane, you're getting one for Thanksgiving.
Sorry, Mom. Okay.
Something that people talk about a lot is that they don't think their flock is at risk for contracting these bacteria strains because they're really healthy, they're in a really clean environment, their nesting boxes are clean, and that's all great, but sometimes you just can't control, the environmental factors, or if one of your birds gets stressed and they are immunocompromised, it's very easy for them to pick this up. They could pick it up from wild birds or from rodents or anything that might be roaming around. So you just don't have full control. Even though keeping a healthy environment and a clean environment is super important, it's not a guarantee that they still won't pick up some of these bacteria strains.
That just made me think about something that will make sure I never, ever, ever crack an unwashed egg again. And that is a lot of those bacteria you mentioned mentioned earlier can be found in a culture on bumblefoot.
Yeah,
and I don't want bumblefoot nastiness in my mouth. That is wrong.
Well, here's the thing. Chickens are ground
They explore
dwellers.
with their feet.
They explore with their feet and their beaks. They eat everything. You can't stop them from pecking at the ground. That's what they're going to do. That's their nature of what they want to do. So I was thinking the same thing because when Ivy had bumblefoot and we cultured it, what came up on it, Yeah. So it does make sense that anybody that eats off the ground is going to have some sort of bacteria no matter what.
Right,
honestly.
of course. There's healthy bacteria, and then there's overgrown bacteria, and then there's deeply pathogenic bacteria, and they're all around.
They're everywhere, man.
And they're invisible.
Yes. They are, it's invisible and it's scary. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Right.
Any other message, anything else you two want to get out there? You want people to know about your product or your business or anything?
To be completely candid, we made this just to kind of help washing our visibly dirty eggs make that easier. But the more we learned, we just realized there is so much more there and you have no control on whether it is present or not. And so it's better safe than sorry. And so our family's health was really important to us. Obviously, Amy going through chemo and that whole journey was necessary for us. And we've just learned so much that you can't really go back, but it's totally fine because we made a product that is so easy to use in literally seconds. It's there's no excuse to not wash. If you're going to be washing dirty ones, there's no excuse to not wash the clean ones because it's so quick and easy.
Yeah.
You should have that peace of mind. Yeah. And I guess just rounding out the story is we are a small family business who really care about the product that we make. We care about the people that we made it for, and we care about small business. And if this is something that's interesting to you, just consider checking us out. We have a utility patent on this product. It was a 2-year process that actually just went through for us a few weeks ago. So we're so excited about that. That we'll be able to kind of, start working our way towards, getting some of that market back. But we are a small family business that really just invented a product to do good, not only for us, but for other people. And we have so many amazing customers and people that support us. And we see messages every day of just thank you for doing this. And it is really encouraging, but just know that we are not this big corporation, which I feel we invented this new product for people like us. And so I think a lot of the traditional, homesteaders, farmers, people like, oh, here comes big corporation to make a buck off of millennial chicken raisers. And it's like,
that's what I wanted to really get out there is that when we get comments, when we get emails, when we have like anything, we see that. It's us. We see it. And I had to get some help there for a minute because we did get a lot of those accusations of like just trying to make a buck and using fear to try to make money. And I was just like, I care too much. It hurts my heart. But we're really small. And when people reach out to us, we see it and we appreciate it. And any support that we get, we definitely
love.
Personally, you changed my life because I use it every day. So I use it. I dishwash it. I reuse it. I have Ella use it. My daughter, Joe uses it. You've changed my life.
It's so easy. Like I bring in eggs. I wash the whole dozen. I lay them on a tea towel to dry, and I put them away. What we don't use, and we use. I mean, those are our used right now eggs. It doesn't take that long. It's a matter of minutes.
Yeah, and it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. I like the sudsy.
You sing and dance. I know.
Don't cut on the sing and dance while you egg wash, lady.
Didn't cut.
You cut.
Yeah, it's people like you that honestly like give us so much motivation every day as we continue to like try and forge this path. Like we're still figuring it out. Like this is our first time really starting a business like this, and there's a lot to do and figure out, and it still blows us away when we're at a trade show or we just meet someone randomly in public and they're like, oh, what do you do? And we kind of tell them like, my background is in filmmaking. Like I'm a filmmaker. This is like my first real entrepreneurial venture. This is our first real thing. And so it still blows us away to meet people and they're like, you guys, like we have your stuff. It's like crazy to see.
You know who we are?
And again, just kind of going back to what you were saying, Amy, like it's so easy to see a product and it's like, we're still figuring out the best way to get our message out there. And that's why we're so gracious to be on your show because we feel like we're really able to talk to who our audience base is and who our customers are. And we don't want to just show up on their Facebook or Instagram feed as an ad and be like, oh, here's a company trying to sell me something. It's like, it really means a lot when we can share our message and have it be received without a shield up or without a guard up of like, oh, you're trying to sell me something. Like we are you guys. We're in your same position. And yeah, like if you go on they're everywhere. Amazon, Etsy, Alibaba, you're going to find all of these, inferior, like most of them don't even fit. The amount of people that we've had write us saying, hey, I think we bought your thing, but it doesn't fit around an egg, or it doesn't clean at all, or it broke, or it fell apart, or it's like, you didn't buy from us. You bought from someone that took a relatively simple idea design, which took us years, by the way, to make. We put so much into developing this thing. This is not us saying, hey, big design company, design a egg brush for us. We came in with prototypes that we made ourselves.
Oh, yeah, I told them about our prototypes.
Oh, yeah. That's in episode 175. So if you have not listened back at that episode, go back.
We just had a listener reach out because she wanted to buy one of your kits and she wasn't sure which one was which.
Yeah, she reached out and said, I keep seeing this ad and I want to buy it. Are they legit? I'm like, yeah, I use it every day. Definitely. And that's why we're going to work together, because we believe in you and your product so much that, we want to be a part of it. And this is a good thing. So everybody's going to be getting to know you guys. They're going to get to know Amy once a month on Cracking the Eggs. We just can't wait. We cannot wait.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to crack those eggs.
Well, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all the support that you've given us, since we've been on this journey. And you guys are the best. It's just so great to talk with you.
Yep.
Right back at you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both.
We'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Bye. We just want to thank Bryce and Amy one more time for spending some time with us, explaining some of the science behind the egg washer.
We love these two, and welcome Amy to our Cracking the Egg segment once a month.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to love her. Trust us.
Oh, she's great.
Speaking of that, are we ready to move on to
Cracking the Eggs?
Cracking those eggs. Now, this week's Cracking the Eggs, again, it's October.
It's still October.
It's still pumpkin recipe.
Yeah.
So we are doing.
Pumpkin oatmeal cookies.
Would you like to enjoy some pumpkin oatmeal cookies?
Yes, in fact, I would.
Where are they?
I guess at my house. They're not here.
They're not here.
There are no cookies in the studio.
There are no cookies in the studio. Now, pumpkin, you can enjoy it in stir fry. You can enjoy it in stuffing. You can enjoy it any way you like.
In pies and bars and cookies and
it's healthy.
cakes.
It's a good, healthy fiber. Okay.
It is. It's very good for you.
So you can kind of feel better about eating your oatmeal cookies if they have pumpkin in them because it makes them a little healthier. So let's go through the ingredients that you're going to need for this recipe. You need a cup of unsalted butter, melted or dairy-free butter. 1 cup of brown sugar, firmly packed. Don't forget, always firmly pack that brown sugar. 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. 2/3 a cup of pumpkin puree. 1 large egg at room temperature. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour or gluten-free flour 1-to-1, 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of table salt, and 2 cups of those old-fashioned oats.
You can actually use the quick too. Either one of them will work.
They're basically the same thing. One's just more ground than the other.
Right. Preheat your oven to 350. You're going to line a baking sheet with parchment paper or silpats and set that aside. Now, most of the pumpkin cookie recipes I was looking at for inspiration call for blotting the pumpkin. And I guess if you're using fresh pumpkin where it's really watery, you might want to do that. Like put it on a plate that's on paper towels and just let the moisture seep out of it and scoop it back out.
Right.
So do that. You want a large mixing bowl. You're going to add melted butter, both sugars, the drained pumpkin, your egg, and vanilla, and whisk or stir that until it's well combined. In a smaller mixing bowl, you want to put your flour, your spices, baking soda, baking powder, and salt.
Now, I always want to say, I always double think this when I do a recipe because I want to put my flour in the smaller bowl because you always want to think that you're adding the wet to dry, but you're really adding the dry to the wet. You want your bigger bowl to be your
That's
smaller.
what I said.
I know. But I'm saying for me personally, I always have to look at the recipe twice because I'll end up putting them in the wrong size bowls. And then I'm like, no.
Well, so mix together your dry spices. You're going to gradually add the dry ingredients to the wet and stir until they're completely incorporated, probably 2 to 3 additions. A lot of these recipes also call for a big cookie. And I like it big, but I don't like it as big as some of those do.
Oh, I like it big.
I like a big cookie.
That's what she said.
Uh-huh. You're going to roll these cookies into balls. Chrissy's having a meltdown over here.
Roll those balls.
Roll those balls. You're going to put the balls on the baking sheet. How old are we? Put the balls on the baking sheet. Leave at least an inch between. Bake your balls for 12 minutes. Allow the cookies to cool on the baking sheet for 5 or 10 minutes before transferring them to a rack to cool completely. You can glaze your baked cookies.
Well, that is very interesting. And enjoy those pumpkin oatmeal cookies. We've enjoyed Pumpkin Month.
Pumpkin Month has been good.
It's been good. Okay, so let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. This week's retail therapy, we're keeping with a theme.
Ducks
on balls.
Oh my God. Ducks on nest dishes. Because they are a thing.
They are a thing. And let me tell you, they're going to cost you more than a chicken on a nest dish.
Yeah, they probably will.
They're more expensive. That's what I'm finding, looking them up.
Yeah. Now, there's an Avon one that's a milk glass duck on a nest.
Right.
And that one usually you can get for $5, $6, $10.
5, 6, or 10.
Increments. 5, 6, or 10.
What happened to 7 or 8, 9?
You don't usually see that on a duck. It's 5, 6, or 10.
5, 6, or 10. Okay.
There are some contemporary makers of ducks on nests, including Emma Bridgewater. I have a super cute little duck on a nest that I love, but they've done several in the past years.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Yes. There I can't think of any standout makers right now, but there are a lot of them. You'd be surprised. I found Actually, you spotted one in the Goodwill for me one time. It's a blue, like spatterware duck with a nest.
Yeah.
We never did find a maker on it.
Yeah. This one, there's one that's a blue on Etsy.
Oh, that's Westmoreland glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
$185.
Yeah, wow. Because it's the cobalt blue and it's a duck.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. There's a lot. I mean, if you collect chickens on a nest, ducks on a nest, there's a lot out there.
Yeah, there are.
And it depends on which poultry you like. There's a mallard.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. There's all different kinds. Now, yours that you bought in Ohio was not a duck on a nest.
No, it was a duck dish.
It was huge. It was 2 piece.
Yeah, it's
We let the cat out of the bag with Pete on that live.
That's right. He currently sits on the bottom shelf of a bookshelf in the foyer of our house. It's big. Like you can fit, if you use it as a dish, you can fit all kinds of cookies in it.
Yeah, definitely. There are so many. All you have to do is Google. Now, if you just do ducks on a nest, you get literally ducks on a nest. So you have to do vintage, because that happened to me.
Glass ducks on nest or ceramic.
Or vintage dishes, ducks on a nest. And then they all come up. Now you're going to find them in the wild at your thrift store. That's going to be your best, most economic way to get them.
Well, what I have discovered is that if you find them in the wild, they're generally priced lower than the chickens.
Yeah.
But worth more.
Right.
And I have a handful of odds and ends of dishes that I found that, again, I don't even know the maker on, but I just bought them because I like my duck collection.
Exactly. And then you have Etsy, eBay, and all those other places.
Yeah.
That if you find one that you really love, or for a gift for that duck lady.
Right.
So take that 5-minute vacation or more and look them up online.
Who's the maker of that one?
Let's see.
Because I think some of the glass makers did make them, but
It's
again.
speckled.
Okay. That looks like it might be ceramic.
Blue, sponge pottery.
Oh, spongeware.
Yeah.
Spongeware glaze. Yeah.
So basically, like that 80s look that you're going to get. But there's so many. Like there's speckled, there's mallard, there's different colors glass.
A lot of them, the colors aren't even like true to life, but they just look neat.
Yeah, like the blues and everything else.
I have a few of the smaller ones that have flowers all over them. Like not just the Emma Bridgewater, but some of the other ones I've found. I have one with violets on it that's really pretty.
Yeah, they're beautiful. So if you're going to collect something, you could switch out your chickens and your ducks depending upon, what you wanted to do.
The season. I do it depending on the season. And the ducks work really well on Thanksgiving table if you don't do vintage turkey stuff.
Right.
Or chicken.
Exactly. So should we tell everybody what we're going to be talking about next week?
More balls.
Don't. I'll laugh through the whole thing. I'm like a 3rd grader with that.
Next week, we're spotlighting a pretty obscure bird, the La Flèche.
Yes, we are.
Jeanette Behringer is joining us. We're going to be talking about conservation work for Crèvecoeur chickens at a castle in France.
Oh, let's go there.
Oh, yeah.
Check it out.
We're starting our Thanksgiving recipes. So it's November, and we're starting off with butternut squash casserole. This one looks good.
Yes.
And because we like to continue a theme, we're doing vintage turkey tableware.
Because it's so much fun. And if you saw our stories the other day, you saw the dish I bought for $1 in a thrift store.
Oh, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. We got some turkey stuff.
And we have fought over some turkey stuff. But listen in next week to check it out.
Might have happened.
So, what should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens and ducks and geese.
Every day and kiss them too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. Thanks for listening.